So, for some reason, no one is really talking about this on the EN side. On 2chan and on the Japanese side, there is thousands of threads back to back to back. It's fucking crazy. But the stream was taken down and she asked not to clip it. So this is a very sensitive topic. It's kind of a sore topic for Haachama fans, for Cover Corp fans, and you'll see why. I'm not going to be able to show any clips, obviously. We're just going to go over transcripts and translation, and then we're going to check some Twitter stuff. So she started by doing a handcam stream, and we looked up hour by hour as she was live, the Twitter reactions to her live stream, okay? And you can tell almost in real time, you can see what people are typing and what people are saying about it and how their reaction is shifting. At first, it starts very cutely. People are like, oh my god, you got beautiful hands, it's so cute. You know, Haachama handcam. I love her streaming style. Then, you know, somebody points out, hey, usually Cover Corp, they don't show bare hands. Is this a new rule? Like, is she allowed to do this? Hey, you're showing your bare hands on camera like crazy, but that's... I don't know if this is a good translation. Things like that. Looks sleepy on the camera, seems like it might crash, makes me nervous. I'm afraid the camera might fall. But so far, you know, it's mostly positive comments. Recently, the growing pains have subsided somewhat, and Agai seems to be showing her true potential. Expectations are rising for what she'll showcase, and her skill level improve. So already there was like a little bit of worry because she was showing bare hands, and apparently that's against cover rules. Now let's look what happens in the next hour. Haachama wears rings on both middle fingers. ASMR. I think Hacha really let it all out just now. She must have been holding in it for so long. I never imagined I get to see Haachama writing. Such slender, long fingers. I had no idea she had such beautiful hands. This is the best stream ever. Sleep aid. Well, I was about to go to sleep, but after opening Haachama's stream, I ended up listening to it non-stop. See you later. Not just Lego building, but no background music, pen spinning ASMR. It's so Haachama-like. Isn't this just the best? So people are still, you know, in a good mood at this point in the stream. But now there's like some few comments saying, Haachama's stream is way too scary. Is this really okay? All sorts of things. Haachama's live streaming lately has been emotionally unstable and worrying in many ways. While going barehanded might be typical for her, the camera angle was borderline, and I'm worried about how well the stop commands are actually reaching her. Oh my god, this is totally on purpose, right? Like, you're just trying to start a fight out of sheer desperation to get yourself banned. You're just waiting for the admins to get mad at you, aren't you? What a brat. Please, Haachama, just don't have a camera live stream accident. Seeing your bare hands on screen makes me happy, but also makes me nervous. So at this point, there's some people are talking about, you know, some emotional stuff that she's saying. Mostly people are worried about the camera and the bare hands. And now let's look at the third hour of the live stream. Watching the Haachama's live stream, I just can't wrap my head around people who can type comments mocking or taunting her while she's pouring her heart out. They're monsters, aren't they? Knowing Haachama's past, I realized I never truly understood their sorrow and pain she's been carrying deep inside all this time. I feel like I was really the worst. Sorry for being emotionally unstable. I'd be happy if I could even a little bit of emotional support to keep Haachama from breaking down. Haachama, you've been working so hard over the past 7 years, and we've all seen it. We've witnessed your growth, and you've brought us so many joyful moments, so be more confident. Don't pay attention to those hateful comments. Haachama, I might not be able to see this anymore. I have to keep watching the stream until the very end. Even though Haachama is in this situation, these are people writing hate comments on her live stream. Reading those comments is pushing Haachama further into a negative mental state. What the hell are those people thinking? So now, at this point in the third hour of the stream, some people are starting to get upset. I get what Haachama's saying. It's tough, but it just piles up. They're like, most of them are referring to Haachama opening up on stream, being emotional, and she's also getting some hate comments in the chat. Haachama's live stream, it's gotten way beyond just needing archives. I mean, I can't really make out what she's saying, Haachama too, but the white comments in the comment section are just egging each other on, making it even worse. Alright, now we're into the fourth. This was a 7-hour stream, by the way. And she's said a lot on it. Some of it a little borderline to what's allowed. No matter what the listener says, She thinks the whole world is against her now, so nothing gets through. That was for Chan. I tried to help the tree that looked like it was suffering from being tied up, but somehow the police subdued me instead. Well, obviously I'm skipping the details, but you were definitely rampaging around and shouting incoherent things, right? These Twitter translations are not the best, by the way. Haachama's occasional words are scary, you know? Let's just end it. It was a short life. I'm 23 years live. I want to end this world. This is what's scary. Sometimes past episode flashbacks and the danger things she says make me feel the danger again. This is a response to Fubuki asking her to go check on Haachama. I'm sorry, the streamer currently live Haachama appears to be mentally unstable. There are also provocative comments. Could you please contact the operators immediately? So they want Fubuki to go check in on her. Looks like it's over, Haachama. Honestly, it's better to just do your own thing freely. I just want the adults around her to stop her, whether it's retirement or whatever. She clearly doesn't look happy. She's tried hard enough already. The fact that Haachama kept doing amazing things hasn't changed. It's like, you're really seeing a shift in how people are reacting to the stream. At first it was all cute and dandy, and now they're all like worried, they're freaking out. I know this is spam behavior, but I'm sending it anyway. Sorry, Haachan. I think you're in a pretty dangerous state during your stream. Can't we do something to help you? Starting with stopping the stream, please? Everybody's like, somebody take her phone and computer away, please. Akai-san, or rather Haachama's livestream, is causing all sorts of trouble. So someone needs to stop it. But seriously, if it breaks down this late at night, there's no way anyone can handle it. Use your common sense, you idiots. I happened to tune into Akai Hato's stream. It was so powerful I couldn't stop shaking for about 20 minutes. I can't quite put it into words, but her sheer intensity made me tear up unexpectedly. I can't watch anymore. My mental state probably couldn't handle it, but all I can do is pray that Akai Hato moves forward in a better direction. So for the 5th to the 6th hour, what's going on? I'm so deeply concerned for you right now, and I don't want you a lot, Hato, but please hear me when I say that your voice and action are so precious, and you've always stuck out to me in Hololive. Your English is amazing, and it helps me connect with you. We all love you, Haachama. I'm posting this early since tomorrow looks rough, but I get Haachama's point too. Just understand that Haachama's perspective isn't the whole story. Listeners don't know anything, so all they can do is listen. I totally relate to Haachama here. I lived in the US and Australia, and seriously, you get discriminated against. Living in Japan, you probably don't feel it with all the coverage about Otani and stuff, but the discrimination against yellow people is really intense. Haachama, she's already talking as if she's quitting, and she keeps saying she'll quit VTubing until she does. She must be at her limit to say that on stream. Her talk was looping and incoherent, and people are calling it sugar-coated. This time, it might have been triggered by heartless comments, but she was at her limit in so many ways. Live, laugh, and enjoy, Haachama. To those who started watching all at this time, she has reached her limit and poured out everything. She is now bringing her current life to a close. All we can do is witness it. Warm comments and unkind comments are both unnecessary. Please do nothing. The operators are also unable to respond at this time. I guess they're saying because the stream happened so late, there was no one around to, like, stop it. This comment says, what's gotten into you, Haachama? What are you doing, Haachama? Is that really how you feel? I think the reason Haachama sounds so much like a reading is because she wrote it down in her notebook and reread it over and over again. Regarding Miss Akai Hato, also known as Haachama, I believe some form of psychiatric intervention is necessary for her health and safety. Regarding her statements, since they are based on her own subjective perspective, they may differ from objective facts. Therefore, let's refrain from making speculation based on her statement. There is a lot of speculations from that stream. We'll go over some of them. I'm not even talking about anything crazy anymore. Clip artists, don't clip the stream from Haachama. Clip this and you're seriously screwed. Some people have posted clips and they've been DMCA'd by Cover Corp because it was content that is not allowed to be clipped, allegedly. Okay, this is the final hour of the stream, 7th hour. We love you, Haachama. Hopefully you will be okay. There are bad times and sad times and all kinds of people that can hurt you. Just remember, there's a lot of fans that want to support you. I clicked on this. Sending my support to the strongest idol. This is for those unfamiliar with Haachama's situation. Seems it started as a normal stream, snapped after anti-comments, ranting about various pent-up frustrations. Fubu-san commented midway but couldn't stop her, mid remarks hinting at S-side. Infinite loop of the same story and mostly incoherent episodes. These are just some positive messages. Let me make one thing clear, no matter what happens from here on out, my #1 favorite since the VTuber industry began will never change, Haachama. I want to quit VTubing, she said. Complaints about Hololive members and the company Tough past experience at home and school and in real life. More seriously messed up stories about Hololive members and covers. Tried to sleep while streaming but couldn't, so drank hot water right now. The situation is, we're talking about stuff that could lead to contract termination, not just hiatus, so it's no good. And this tweet got 726k, so this made the rounds. A lot. This tweet got 3.9 million views. There's been several million views tweet on this situation. It's pretty big. And a lot of things that she said are kind of like borderline, so everybody's a little worried that there might be a repercussion. This is the final 15 minutes of the stream. Haachama's stream got taken down by the admins. Haachama, I hope you're feeling better. It's easy to feel alone in this world. Thanks for the stream. Thank you so much for talking with me for so long about everything. The only reason I'm here now, the only reason I'm alive is because Haachama was there for me. So it's like support messages. This is Haachama got deleted because the stream got taken down. People are freaking out a little bit. I'm glad I got to see Haachama stream. While individuals might have their own issues, the society and environment that triggers them are also problematic. Yet if you point that out, you get labeled as weird. You have to endure things silently that ordinary people or girls wouldn't be allowed to endure. I think she had grievances about things like her home environment. A Hololive member, Akai Hato, Hachan, suddenly starts going wild at 2 a.m. Starts a sleep stream around 7 a.m. Stream ends and archive made private is the current status. To Yagu and Cover Inc., please guide Hacha-chan by exploring paths other than graduation. After seeing the whole picture, I'll say this. Since the primary information is gone, don't get swayed by unnecessary details. True, she was mentally unstable. Information about her family and such is uncertain. She was merely venting her feeling. No ill limit. I'll talk about the incident. From the very beginning, she was showing her bare hand, so it felt like she was prepared for this. It wasn't triggered by anti-comments. This was simply the point where her frustration reached its limit. After revealing her dissatisfaction with Hololive and sharing painful memories like her hospital stay, she made a resigned statement saying it's okay to quit. Yeah, so there was a video uploaded, it got taken down. So you could see the viewer climbing, and it reached a peak of almost 14,000 people watching her kind of, I don't know how to call this, meltdown on stream or venting stream. It garnered a lot of traction. We'll go over what she said. No, first we'll go over this video of people. It's just screenshots of the screen, so we can show this. And that's a video made by her fans called Don't Cry Haachama, We Love You. And this is kind of how it started. So she was building Lego, everything was normal, the usual Haachama stream, with a lot of chatting and talking about her vacation. However, some time has passed and Haachama noticed some not very nice comments in the chat. This took her attention, the stream spiraled into a rather sad direction. She then starts crying in frustration, everyone in chat trying to comfort her. Like, it might have been just the straw that broke the camel's back. But clearly she has a lot of things on her mind. She has a lot of things waiting on her heart. She then started to write stuff to calm down. Everyone was sending very kind messages and cheer her up. Although there is some bad apple was clearly feasting on her emotion and trolling in chat. Some even criticize her English and make her more frustrated, so she write this for the hater. Don't waste your time. I'll tell something in English. You guys always say the spelling is wrong, but you say it's wrong. Just wake up. After that, she starts talking about her childhood drama and a lot of bad stuff that has been happening to her. Luckily, Foxfriend was in the chat, which is Fubuki. She tuned in and managed to cheer her up. She went to make some tea to calm down. Chama, what are you making? Are you making the one in the top left? I thought it was. What's going on? Normal is hard. She then fell asleep on stream after an 8-hour stream. I assume Hermione-chan ended the stream for her. Haachama is not in a very good state of mind right now, so I want to make this so everyone can go and give her some love. Knowing her as the strongest idol, I'm sure she can work this out. Thousands of love to our big red heart. Okay, let's go over the transcripts now. So she says here in one part of the stream, when I spoke with Tanigo-san, I was told the graduates who left were the people who had become isolated, and I trembled. I thought, that's me too. What is that? Who is the one doing the isolation? Who is the one doing the isolating? You make me work as hard as I can, and then you just isolate me and it's over? Hey, stop getting my hopes up, really luring me in by scattering bait, saying things like, you can do a solo live. It's so absurd, I can't even watch. Just repeating the same thing over and over. It's always the people just leeching off others who have no real skills, right? Because they haven't improved themselves, because they haven't done anything, because they just try to use their authority to get things done. because they use other people because they aren't trying to do anything themselves. When they use other people, they end up making like minions, of course. Of course, it makes sense that they can't do anything themselves. Laughter. They surround themselves with people and go, yep, I'm popular. Yay, that's so amazing. So amazing. Is it fun being so popular? I can't really tell who she's talking about, but people have been speculating about who this is about. We can take a look at that later. Unsure exactly what she's talking about here. Seems like she feels that she's isolated. She feels that some people are getting solo lives after solo live, and that she's being left out. But it may be also that these people just pull in more viewers, so the company is attributing more resources to them. And in the eyes of Haachama, maybe she believes that it's not fair to her. I'm not too sure. And this part, it's unclear exactly what she's talking about, but perhaps she feels like she's being used for content, or, you know, as an orbiter instead of yeah, she seems to hint at that she feels a little bit used. See, I've never been the popular one. I'm just air, ignored. So I get to do whatever the hell I want. Of course, if I'm going to be treated like air, I'm like, what? I'm air? Oh, okay. Then I'll just spew poison gas. Seriously, if you get treated like air, you're going to become poison gas. This is in another segment. All of the ones that have, like, I have little bars in between them, it's like different segments. So it's not necessarily, it doesn't follow. Yeah, it's one clip at a time. The air that you all breathe so toughlessly, I'm gonna turn it into poison gas, huh? Can you all live while breathing in poison? Because I can. Oh, I can live on it. No problem at all. I can live on poison gas with ease. Yep, it's awful. Of course I'd rebel. At this point, how many times have I already rebelled? How many times? No, you're gross. You're gross. You're disgusting. Disgusting. It's like... And then she's quoting, don't graduate, okay? Stop trying to tie me down. That's my line. Why won't you let me graduate, right? You'd want to graduate from a world like this, wouldn't you? I want to. The desire to do it is overwhelming. Overwhelming. Are they idiots? I haven't even said a single name, you know? The capacity is limited, even though the capacity is limited. This is another clip, by the way. I'm just gonna point this out because you guys might get confused if you're just listening to the stream and not looking at the screen. The capacity is limited, even though the capacity is limited. There's a person who gets to do the same thing over and over again. But just because that person is a top earner, it's not considered unequal. If they're an earner, it's not unequal. And then she goes on and says, but you know that a top earner, that's something you guys created that, didn't you? You produced it that way. So why is it that you produced that side, but you didn't produce this side? And the whole group, are we just a failed project? Why did you give up on us? Hey, why are you throwing us away? Hey, everything I've built up all this time has been defiled, denied, and on top of it all, forgotten. And after being forgotten, I have insults hurled at me by strangers, complete strangers who know absolutely nothing. So maybe there she might be talking about aunties at the end there, but she's back at the top earner. Some people are getting more stuff than her, and she feels left out. This is in another clip. You say if you don't speak up, people can't understand, but who exactly is it that made it so I can't speak my true feelings? Who is it that turned this into a world where you can't speak your mind? In an environment where I can't be honest, even if I'm told later, well, if you wanted to say it, you should have said it. I couldn't say it, not a single thing. This might be a boomerang that'll just come back to hit me, and I make the same mistakes too. I know that, but this is just wrong. And she speaks about Russia. In this one clip, she says, like Russia, huh? So did Russia-chan do something wrong? Did she do something wrong? Hey, try and tell me. Did you see it yourself? Isn't that just a rumor? Hey, did you see it yourself? Can you not even tell the difference between something you actually saw and stuff that's just circulating on the net? Hey, look at reality. Look at reality. Okay, this one is pretty heavy too. In this one clip, she says, speaking of which, romance between members. Isn't it going a little too far into risky territory? Honestly, I thought that part was scary. You're laughing, aren't you? I can hear you. Hey, it's fun to kick me down like that, isn't it? Hey, is it fun showing each other your naked bodies? It's going a little too far, hey? If it's mutually consensual, that might be fine, but what if it's a senpai, kuhai, or senior-junior relationship? And it's an environment where it's hard to refuse. hey, isn't that a bit much? It's just my own speculation though. So there's some of the stuff in this that Haachama says that she like points out that it's speculations. Yeah, and that clip had the most views out of all of them. Like she herself says that she's speculating. So I think it's important to point that out. But here, this is the part of this transcript where she basically mentions SA because she's like, if it was mutually consensual, then it would have been fine. But she feels like there was a power dynamic there where between Senpai and Kuhai, we don't know who it is, where one person might have been hard to refuse the advances of the others. Yeah. And then there's a part about Fubuki, but the part about Fubuki, there's a correction. So I think I'm just going to read it later. Oh no, this one is fine, I think. So at one point, she talks about Fubuki. She says, hey, what do you mean the usual? Oh, you're having parties and stuff, aren't you? I don't know if Fubuki-chan is at a party or not, but that too, you know, it just feels so above groups, you know? It just feels like a hierarchy. I hate it. I really hate it. Being excluded from the group is just unbearably fun, isn't it? What is that? That's so lame. So because of these comments, there's been some rumors that there is also a click in cover. Obviously, this is mega speculation. This is people taking her words and kind of running with it on forums. But so just be aware of that. I'm just relaying to you what people are saying, what are, you know, the public opinion at the moment. But you know, we need to also make a difference between what is speculation and what Haachama actually says. All right, so this is more transcripts from her stream, or just like, you know, quotes that people wrote down from the important bits, because it was like a really long stream. So in this bit, she talks about the isolation ward. And she talks about some tough times she's been through. She says, I want to tell the truth. I'm living a life where I'm just forced to endure. 3 years ago, I was restrained by 2 police officers on the concrete. I soaked the concrete with my tears. Even though I'm a girl, I was humiliated. I was forced to use the toilet with the door kept open, and they even did a urine test, but nothing was wrong. I was taken in an ambulance. I had my blood drawn, but nothing was wrong. I went to the police recently too. I just ran away. The reason I was caught was because a tree was bound with a rope. Aren't you burying a person under the tree? And here, some people are like ratting that this is a metaphor for something, but I don't really understand this sentence, so I'm not gonna like pretend I do. I also told them my real name and that I'm an active as the VTuber Akai Hato. The police were like, oh yeah, we watch you, lol. It took a long time to get myself back. I even disassembled a light, thinking it was an escape game. I became friends with a nurse at the hospital. I thought I might never be able to leave isolation. Like, I think she's talking about a hospital ward. At the time, I was given so much medication that my thoughts became dull. It's heavy stuff, guys. It used to be painful for morning to come, but now I'm finally able to wake up. I was there for about a month. I realized everyone goes down the same path. Everyone is too afraid to say anything because they're scared of being isolated. In this bit, she talks about Hololive. There's quotes like, is it fun for you to watch someone who was more popular than you cry and scream as they're forced to leave? My salary from 6 months ago hasn't been paid. I'm not sure why that is. Is it because she's recorded stuff and they didn't pass the check, so they were like, we're not gonna pay you? Or is there, I don't know. I don't know. Speculations for this. But she claims that her salary from 6 months hasn't been paid. Not sure how that happens. We don't have more info on that. There was a time when I couldn't quit even though I wanted to because there were future projects in the work. You're just luring them in with the promise of a solo life, aren't you? Even if we're all aiming for the same goal, having been shown this dream and holding on to hope, there's a limited number of slots. And there are people who get to do the same thing, a solo life, over and over again, but because those people are top earners, they say it's not unfair. Aren't we the ones who produce the top earners? Are we failed projects? You praise them, so why are you throwing us away? This is a similar... We kind of like read the transcript for that clip. This is just a varying translation of that part. I think it's worth like reading the different translation just so we can triangulate, you know, if the same information gets repeated. I'm badmouth, forgotten, strangers hurl abuse at me, and complete strangers get to say whatever they want. The people around me who keep getting rewarded don't actually put in the effort. They just rub their own achievements in everyone's faces. That kind of business will die. It just makes people fight with each other. There are too many people. It will die. They keep changing the stage, and the field I cultivated myself is being ravaged by others. As soon as I got hot or popular, they suddenly started inviting me, even though they used to treat me like I was invisible, like I was trash. The second I got a little popular, they came running. They just create minions, so of course they can't do anything on their own. They just surround themselves with a clique. Wow, is it fun being so popular, lol? Guess this is why the clique rats are coming from. Huddling up with only the people they like every single night. It must be nice to just do whatever you want like that, lol. If you're going to treat me like air, I'll become poison gas. I'll turn the very air you breathe into poison gas. Wow, why won't you let me graduate? Even though I haven't even used my own name once, lol. I think this was in response to chatter. I think she was saying, I haven't named anyone yet. Tens of thousands of people become VTubers and have terrible time, and you know there are people even in Hololive who are having a terrible time. Okay, so more about Hololive here. She says, I couldn't even join in with everyone on the Minecraft build. When I was taking a walk by myself in Ark, someone told me you seem to be having fun even on your own. What's with joining in only after bursting into tears? You just want to look like a good person. Do you hate interacting with me that much? I think she's talking about her bursting into tears, so they invited her after. Who is it that made it so I can't speak my true feelings? Who is it that created this world, this environment where I can't be honest? People who are in high school or college doing VTuber stuff on the side are getting preferential treatment over those who aren't. Yeah, these are all separate quotes. I can make a lot of friends in the hospital, but I can't make any friends in Hololive. Why is that? I realize this industry is insane. This quote I've seen repeated a lot. I think it's people coming in to check on her after she cries. Yeah, that would make sense. Why do I have to support a family of 3 even though I've said over and over again that I want to live alone? She's talking about her own family here. The faucet Jaguchi is sexual harassment, isn't it? The ugly person with glasses who showed up on stream, that's going to... I tried to turn it into a joke, but it wasn't funny. What is this share price? Fure Daka thing? It's just going to keep accelerating and getting more and more extreme. She says here they only ever call for large group collabs. They won't even try to talk one-on-one. And I'm not sure if she's talking about the Lamy collab that I'll show you guys later here, but it might be. My status is different from yours. I have the numbers. Does a one-on-one fight take courage? Then show me some courage. And at the end of it all, you just resort to bullying? How lame. As someone who knows Japanese and watched the entire show, I did not come away with the impression that she was an entirely reliable narrator last night and she was not in a normal state of mind. Yeah, surely not, but again, I don't want to completely brush aside everything she's doing because it would be disrespectful for her. And I think a lot of people are kind of doing that right now. It's very black and white, and this is more like a gray topic, I think. They say about me she doesn't interact with people, but I've interacted with my juniors. This is a comment. It's not like you were ostracized from the very beginning, right? Though there was that time all the holomems went... No, she says that, the Disney one. The comment is, it's not like you were ostracized from the very beginning, right? And she says, though there was that time all the holomems went to Disney and I was the only one who didn't go. Do I really have to say everything? So Fubuki came to the chat. This is, I've got three different translations for this part. This one says, Fubuki-chan, you're having a party, aren't you? That party also just makes me go, oh lol, so cringe. You're having a party, aren't you? You're excluding me, aren't you? Can you stop with the impression manipulation saying, oh, that girl just enjoys being by herself? It's not funny. I've been left out so much at this point, I don't even care anymore. The whole hierarchy is a pain too. But then the person who was translating this or posting this, he was like, correction. In the fourth image, there was a prior statement, and instead she says, I don't know if Fubuki-chan is at that party, which I missed. Therefore, it seems that the comment was not directed at Fubuki personally, but rather an opinion about the members holding the party. So it wasn't her throwing shade at Fubuki. He corrects this part, and it's more like her asking, oh, you guys are having a party, you didn't invite me. And then she says something along the line of, I don't know why you guys keep saying that I enjoyed time by myself. I never said that. And then here's another version of that translation. Haachama says, I haven't told Fubuki-chan, lol. Aren't you guys doing some party or something? Lol, that kind of stuff is like, ew, cold. Should I spill it? Huh, I've been left out so much already that I don't even care anymore. Hierarchies are dragged too. To summarize Akai Hato's stream, this is another summary. Management won't let her do what she wants to do, and when she starts something new, like travel vlogs, the checks are strict and it gets shut down immediately. For the past few months, even when she makes videos, it's like unpaid volunteer work. And everybody's kind of confused by that part. We don't really understand how it could be unpaid volunteer work, because I feel like you would get ad revenue, wouldn't you? She stopped hanging out with other members, all of them in parentheses, and is becoming isolated. She's already had the tea party with Yago, though she didn't particularly express any complaints/resentment to Yago. She feels that she can only consult with her listeners now, like her viewers. She really hates some of the malicious clips, because apparently some people are clipping her like crying and all of that. She says her family environment was not good. Overall, she seems a bit paranoid and at times has become emotional, self-destructive, and has started making speculations. Like, other people are having their second life performance, but what about me? Or they're too close. Isn't that a romantic relationship? If that's some kind of power harassment, that would be hard to take, etc. Was about the senpai kuhai bit. I was told that girl is the type who likes to do things alone, so they stopped inviting me. And then the person who wrote this adds, though it might just be them respecting Hato, who is simply acting as her character. So it seems like perhaps the other holomems think that she's the kind of person who likes to do things alone, so maybe they stopped inviting her. But Haachama is like, I never said that, so she feels like she's isolated. It could be just a perception thing. She views things differently. This is her experience. It seems she intended to persevere and do her work seriously, but when things kept falling to pass various checks, she starts to feel like her own will wasn't being respected, and it seems she was venting her frustrations. Having grown up with a parent or parents with somewhat toxic tendencies, and having been a VTuber since she was 16-year-old high school student, that is true, she's been a VTuber for a really long time, and continuing even in university, she has always been operating in an oppressive environment. She was hurt by not being respected as much as she expected, and not having freedom in a place where she thought she would be respected, and it feels like this has made her somewhat paranoid. She might be naive about society, thinking of the company as an organization that will protect her like a school. And I felt she should leave her parents' home, but she can't leave her parents' home. I don't know if it's because her parents won't allow it, and it seems she lives with her mother and older sister, but is also paying for their expenses. And she just seems really lonely. This is another summary of the stream from Twitter. Okay, so Akahato deleted stream on October 29th. She streamed with no gloves on, and this is against the rules. She was sent into hospital on her break. It only ended up making her problems worse because of being more lonely. She couldn't make friends in Hololive, but could on her hospital stay, school, and everyday life. Shared info about her family. Her dad told her he wanted a boy, but her mom miscarried and she came afterwards. Her dad sent her to Philippine schools and got divorced while she was there. She shared some side thoughts multiple times on the stream. Even said, just end me already. Euthanasia would be nice. Shits on the higher up for not offering help, or when offering help, it's lacking. Shared an internal info or rumor, as she said that Yago purposely gave Shion more sponsorships because Shion dropped out of school. Implied that there are pairings in Hololive that aren't consensual but forced. Mentioned that Yago said to her the graduated members are the isolated ones. And I believe in some other bit she says that that made her scared because she feels that she's isolated too. She said being in Hololive isn't about everything. She knew she went too far and didn't want to end the stream. Sayonara mata Itsuka as her last words before the stream ends. So she definitely crossed the line with a few things that she said, which is kind of worrisome. Like if she's leaking things that Yago told her, I don't think she was allowed to do that. So people have been speculating about who the clique, or, you know, because at one point she's like, I used to collab with this person a lot, and we stopped collabing recently, so people are trying to figure out who it is, who's the clique, who's the faction, and people are ratting, again, huge caveat, this is speculation, that it's Sakura, Miko, and some others. And some people are, you know, there's a lot of this image being spread around. I laugh when all the members of the party faction appeared in the MV. Your efforts to curry favor behind the scenes have finally paid off, huh? Congrats, Goldfish Poop. That's been a rat for a long time. The Miko clique? I don't I can't picture Miko being mean to anybody. I can't picture any of the Hololive girls being like that, but for transparency's sake, I'm gonna show you guys this still, but again, this is speculations. Okay, so I can only provide you with some of the summary, which someone translated what had happened on the stream without any credibility, since I'm not listening to the stream itself, but so far on what everyone tweets is mostly checks out. Here are the screenshots. She wondered why the aunties go so far just to mess with her, why they've done this for so long. Keep in mind that throughout this whole thing, aunties were still in chat talking shit. She reflected back on past traumas / experiences and how trapped she felt in her hospital bed during her hospitalization. Being unable to move, forced to use a diaper. It was a horrible time for her. Recall the time in Asakusa where she just saw an ambulance and had a mini panic attack at the thought of them trapping her in that hospital bed again. Dude, poor her. Has felt frustrated because her stream / projects don't get attention. Called out people who only show up at times like this to watch her cry, and how her clips are mainly of her crying, even when she puts signs that says clip ban. So this is what she said earlier about like malicious clipping. She was frustrated with them. This is a bit more clarification on that bit. Talked about hating the world, wanting to disappear / being too scared to disappear, dying without having accomplished anything. She said in English, it's fine to show her hands because she quit being a VTuber. Then she said in JP that she wants to stay, but will likely get made to quit after this, so whatever. When she talked about loving her fans and streaming, she talked in a past tense and laughed at the comment that said this feels like a final stream. She reiterated that she likes being here, likes management, and wants to stay, but feels suffocated by said management and lack of results. Even for collabs, she has to be the one to reach out and initiate instead of getting invited. Apparently there was a Disney trip that every holo went to except her, implying that she got left out essentially. Talked about how her father wanted a boy instead of a girl, and a childhood moment where she stole from her mom's wallet to buy a Tamagotchi, and how angry her mom got when she found out. Then her mom came back to the store with Chama and shouted at the store clerk for selling something so expensive to a child. That messed with her mental even more than getting caught. Talked about wanting her childhood years back and how much time she spent being a VTuber. Everyone tells her she's still young and she's only 23, but she already feels very old. She won't even end stream, and she's apparently scared there's something in her house that could take her away. So she's been streaming until morning so she doesn't have to be alone. She doesn't want to even look at her face in the mirror. There was an incident 3 years ago where she got caught by police for some reason, got restrained and shoved into the asphalt while crying her eyes out. Got taken to the station and had to use the bathroom while a female officer watched her with the door open. After that, she couldn't feel safe around police. Despite being silent all this time about it, she knows she needs to talk with police / lawyers about that incident and knows the solution, but just had to actually do it. She ranted about her school days sucking and being hated by her teacher, got bothered by the people that feel like she's acting when she gets like this, said that she just wants to live normally but doesn't know what normal is, got asked about why she doesn't go to holos for help, basically said that she's awkward with other people, even groups that she herself made. Felt that she could make friends in the hospital but can't in Hololive, has felt very isolated and alone. Like even venting like this, she has no one, whether it's IRL, family, friends, or anyone in Holo she can go to. This person says about the police and tree incident, there has been indication that she was in an hallucination state, thus her getting admitted to a psychiatric hospital before indicated how severe her mental state had at some time. She's just 23 this year. This person also translated some stuff in English. They're like an aqua clipper. They say, I just opened a Haachama stream and saw her frustration and cries her heart out. Part of me wants more fans to hear Haachama's voice, but another part feels like it shouldn't be clipped when she's that vulnerable. Vulnerability shouldn't be content. Go and give her support. I do feel like something will get clipped out of contest and it's going to be infuriating. When she said she wanted her youth back, the way I interpret it is that she's going through a kind of midlife crisis way too early, probably because she started so young. I can see the headlines now. Haachama, the teen VTuber who got child star syndrome. This girl needs love and therapy. Yeah, a lot of love. And a lot of people love her. She's been through so much already. It's heartbreaking that she feels that way. I honestly don't know how to help. Would it be better if she ended the stream? Letting her frustration out while reading all that hate can be good. I've seen people in chat suggesting that other Hololive members should step in, but please don't. It would likely just make Haachama feel pressured or even guilty, and we don't know how they actually are close in private. It's a screenshot from it. Haachama. I'm just typing and deleting over because I worry I might misinterpret her struggles and anxiety. The topic is heavy. Her own father wanted her to be a boy, and she talked about how she stole money from her mother to buy a Tamagotchi, and only for her mom to get furious and gaslight her by yelling at the store clerks for selling expensive toys to children. She's really trauma dumping everything, but I really hope no one is making a clip. Gonna stop listening. I feel like it's making me mentally unwell. I drained the stream because I thought she was doing some relaxing nanoblock building. Last one, I need to let this out, but fuck her mother. You don't fucking feed your own children. Rotten apple. Heard Haachama's stream ended. I just hope she can get some good sleep and recover even just a little mentally. And my last take, but I just wish some people had more empathy. Does she need to go to the extreme before she gets the empathy she should have gotten? Being an adult doesn't mean you stop hurting. If it did, suicidal thoughts or depression wouldn't exist. Yeah, unbased bomb. Let's look at these 4 screenshots now, because they add a little bit more info we haven't covered yet. So I only watched near the end, but on the foresight, they were saying how Haachama spoke about Yago helping out Shion. Not sure what she said since I wasn't there for most of it, but I assumed Haachama spoke a bit of cover and what happened behind the scene, which is most likely a no-no. I watched it all and she only said Fubuki, Shion, and Rushia's name. Some auntie said it's just like always, and she replied, what, they're having a party? I don't know if Fubuki is in that party, but I think it's kind of, I don't like it. Being left out is so much fun. Around 2:52, some auntie said she was starting to look like Rushia, and she responded, and did she really do something wrong? Did you actually see it yourself? Okay, so we're getting some context on the Rushia comment here, which I thought was a bit out of left field, but in context like that, it makes more sense. Something you just heard on the internet, you can't tell the difference between reality and online rumors. Look at what's real. Look at reality. Around 6:30, 6 hours 30 in, she said this was the result of cover neglecting her, that they never listened to her request. When she talked to Yago, he told her, the people who graduated were the ones who were isolated. She thought to herself, I'm like that too. Who do you think is making us become isolated? And then she added, who make people work so hard that they end up isolated and are eventually forced to quit. She also mentioned a rumor about Shion saying that people felt sorry for her because she wasn't going to school much, so to make up for it, they supposedly gave her more sponsorship work, but she said it was just gossip and that she didn't know the truth, so she pointed out here that this is speculations. She went on to say that some relationship between members might have been a bit too close, like showing each other their naked bodies. She said it's fine if both sides are comfortable with it, but if it's between a senpai and a kuhai, it can be hard to refuse. However, she didn't mention any names on this. Haachama is not a menhir. She suffers from depression, had a breakdown on stream, mainly because some aunties in the chat were provoking her, which caused her to start venting. She has a lot of trauma from her childhood. She studied in the Philippines and Australia, where she was bullied and grew up mostly alone, away from her family. Her parents divorced and now she lives with her mother and sister, but she hates the fact that she has to financially support them because her mother controls her and they fight. She made friends in college, but she feels that it was only because she said she was Haachama. She also feels like an outsider among other Hololive members. She's a shy girl, and because she spent so much time abroad, she didn't interact much with them off-stream until she returned to Japan. She mentioned some negative things about cover and talked about Yago, saying that the girls who graduated were the ones who were loners. However, she didn't say anything bad about any specific Hololive member. Fubuki appeared in the chat, but she ignored her. She also said some vague things about how the people around her are all close friends with each other while she's always alone. I don't blame her for that stream. She's been carrying so much on her own. She said she doesn't have anyone she can trust, so that was the only way she knew how to ask for help. It's a pretty toxic situation the way people are talking about it. A lot of people are blaming Haachama. I'm going to show you guys 2 tweets that got a lot of traction, and it's 2 completely different opinions, but it kind of really represents what like the two sides people are on right now. So this person, for example, says, I felt that Hololive started getting weird with faction vibes ever since management started overly favoring and hard pushing Sakura Miko and Shirakami Fubuki, and yeah, that was spot on. Hachan, thanks for spilling the beans like that. If she really said this in the stream, I fear cover will take disciplinary action against her. And then this is the other opinion, which is Akahato is whining about being isolated or left out, but isn't this just a result of all the things piling up, doing overly vulgar stuff or weird things with cooking? That's the path Akahato's brand has been charging down, right? It's just self-destruction through self-production, isn't it? So you're kind of like, you know, this is kind of your fault. You're doing all this unhinged content. You put yourself in this box, so you deserve it. There's two different perspectives on this. I mean, she does push the boundaries and her views are going down, but she also took a huge break. So I feel like the girls may not purposefully avoid her, but maybe this is her perception of things. Like for example, she says that she thinks other people think she prefer being alone. So maybe they're like, well, you know, Haachama prefers being alone, so we won't invite her. But then she says like, it's not like that. I never said that. And the other thing is that a lot of people are also just saying like, oh, she's crazy. She's having an episode. So we shouldn't talk about this. Everything she said is untrue. And I think perhaps it's a little bit more nuanced than that. Yes, and there's a lot of people going to the Hololive rat too. That's the other thing, right? Is that people are very protective of the other talents and of Cover Corp. So whenever there's something a little bit negative being said about them, there's immediate pushback and there's an immediate desire to, you know, brush this under the rug and silence it. And then there's going to be like, oh, she's crazy. She's mentally ill. Clearly she's going through some stuff. But also when somebody's telling you like, hey, I feel invisible. I feel like no one's listening to me and I need to talk. It's not right to just be like, to invalidate her and be like, sorry girl, but you're crazy, so I don't believe anything you said. You kind of need to listen a little bit. That doesn't mean you gotta take everything at face value, of course. And the Twitch collab has people mad at Holo too. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care. They're probably gonna simultaneously cast. Yeah, I feel ignored. Let's ignore her more. Exactly. That's how people are doing this. Yeah, so there's a lot of Hololive defender calling her crazy. And I mentioned it before, but I don't think it's fair to just say that, oh, the antis triggered her and it's just like the antis and hateful comments, because it's not just that. She's also been a VTuber since she's 16. So that does take a toll on somebody. But there's some serious complaints that she put in there. And for the solo life stuff, for example, that she's mentioned it before, it could, like, you know, she's like, oh, but they get more numbers, so they say that it's not unfair. It may be a matter of perception. It's not necessarily that there's maybe malice in Cover Corp or they're doing preferential treatment. This is a supposition of mine, of course, but it can just be that, you know, these girls, maybe they pull more numbers, so they get more resources greenlit for them. But her perception of things is that, well, these things aren't happening to me, so this sucks for me. I feel like this is unfair. And the big rats that people are talking about on the forums is like the big speculations. This is huge caveat speculation. Is and they're really angry at her. They think that this is what Japanese 2chan thinks, by the way, and other Japanese groups are running with this rumor. They think it's an attack on Miko. They think she outed a relationship Miko was in. She outed essay and harassment between a kohai and a senpai. However, we don't have names for them either. Now, recently, 8 hours ago, she did do a collab with Lamy. However, that collab was pre-recorded. So she wasn't, you know, it didn't happen after her stream. And this may be the big collab she was referring to, may not be. She did a few collab with Matsuri recently. Yeah, exactly. They're running with what 2chan are saying. They're running with that, but that's not what Haachama said. You know, we read her words. She didn't really name any names. The only names she named in her entire live stream is Shion, Rushia, and Yes, Fubuki was the third one. So yeah, she did a collab with Matsuri on her channel very recently. So when, you know, the channers were speculating over it, they immediately ruled out Matsuri. They were like, okay, she's not part of the clique. This is definitely not about Matsuri. So they started, you know, digging and try to angle for other girls. And okay, the other big speculation is that it's about what Yago said, what people believe that she leaked about what Yago said, that the graduated members are the isolated one. And now people are bringing back like everybody's name. They're mentioning everybody. They're like, Fauna. Again, this is rats, by the way, guys. This is not stuff that Haachama said. They're like, Fauna left because she was isolated. Same with, you know, Aqua. Everybody that's graduated, Gura even, is because she was, you know, isolated. And it's like, maybe it's because, you remember when a lot of the girls were like about creative differences? And I just don't want to go with this idol stuff of the company. And people were like, oh, well, just don't do the idol stuff, you know? Just stick around and don't do them. But what happens when, yeah, they're questioning the difference in direction, you know, reasons that the girls used to give. And perhaps it's more like, hey, if everybody's doing these concerts, if everybody's flying to do these recordings, but you're always saying no, or you say yes because you feel compelled to do it because everybody else is doing it, so you feel some kind of pressure, or maybe you feel shitty for saying no, or maybe you just simply don't go and then you get left out or you get FOMO. So they're writing about things like that. All of that is being brought up to the surface and being questioned again. Mio was live and she briefly spoke about it. My manager told me, so I really don't want to touch on it, but everyone is a little worried, so let me just say one thing. Like yesterday, well, a lot of things happened, right? But there's nothing that we Holo members can really say. Right now, management is figuring out how they should respond, and they're thinking about it properly. So can you just wait a little? Is it okay if I ask you guys to wait? There's very little that we can do from our end. As for that, whether I personally can do anything about it, it's a difficult situation, you know, right? So, you know, would it be okay to ask you guys to wait a bit? Yeah, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, it's fine. You don't need to know. And we'll get back to the game. So, management is figuring out how to respond to this. The thing is it would look really bad on them if they graduated her because of this, right? Because there's mental health issues at stake. This is very sensitive. And people might be really upset about that if it came to that. Some people are also wondering if she was completely lucid, etc., etc. It's a complicated topic, as I said. It's a very sore topic. And on the other hand, it's like, I guess some people are like, well, they could put her on a hiatus, but she just came back from a break. So maybe they'll just issue a statement. I'm not sure what's going to happen. We're all going to hold our breaths till we get a statement, I suppose. It's not a good situation, and Japan is not great with mental health. It's sad, and people are very black and white about it. They're either like discrediting her, saying she's crazy, or they don't want to talk about it because they want to protect Cover Corp and the other talents. And the other ones are saying she's crazy, so you deserve being alone. So it's a messed up situation, and it's all sort of at the expense of Haachama, and clearly she feels invisible and she feels like no one is listening to her. So I thought we should at least give her that grace. Hey, you! Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button, and I'll see you in the next video.